When an intense summer heat wave hits a high-value crop, like a field of export grapes or greenhouse tomatoes, the damage happens in a matter of hours. The plant rapidly loses turgor pressure, the cells dehydrate, and the entire organism loses structure. Look at this line graph charting crop growth against ambient temperature. It follows an inverted U-curve. Initially, heat is a highly valuable resource. As the temperature rises in the safe zone, the line arcs upward because warmth actively drives photosynthesis and accelerates plant development. But every crop has a strict biological threshold. Once the ambient heat crosses 37 degrees Celsius or hits a sudden 45-degree spike, the benefits collapse. Heat instantly transitions from a growth resource into a lethal stressor, and crop viability falls off a cliff. Out in the field, this structural failure is easy to spot. On this wheat crop, terminal stress takes hold. The higher heads turn a dry, chaff-colored white, and lower stems fade to a sickly yellow straw. A farmer's immediate instinct is to saturate the soil with water, but during an extreme heat wave, this fails. The intense heat causes moisture to evaporate from the plant's leaves far faster than the root system can absorb it from the ground. You can flood the soil, and the crop will still dry out. Surviving modern temperature spikes requires abandoning reactive farming. Growers must deploy a multi-layered biological defense system long before the heat actually arrives. The first line of defense is physical. Intense solar radiation literally burns the crop, causing direct leaf necrosis and leaving severe sunburn patches on delicate produce like cucumbers and peppers. To block the radiation, growers suspend 35 to 50% shade nets over the fields, which drops the local canopy temperature by up to 6 degrees. They also coat the crops with foliar sprays, like kaolin clay or liquid calcium carbonate, that dry into a microscopic film and reflect UV rays right off the leaves. But heat also attacks from the inside. Evapotranspiration is a massive internal threat. If a farmer applies heavy nitrogen fertilizers during a heat wave, the plant develops lush, weak foliage. Under thermal stress, that foliage bleeds moisture through tiny surface pores called stomata, pushing the plant toward rapid collapse. Smart irrigation steps in to manage this vascular threat. High-pressure misting systems spray an ultrafine fog that evaporates before hitting the leaf, cooling the surrounding air by 10 degrees. Instead of long soaking sessions, farmers use pulse sprinkling, firing water in 1 to 2 minute bursts to maintain a cool canopy without waterlogging the roots. This is active microclimate hacking. Growers intentionally slow down the plant's metabolism, holding the crop in suspended animation until the extreme heat spike passes. Deep down at the cellular level, heat actively shreds plant DNA. High temperatures release chaotic molecules known as reactive oxygen species, or ROS, which bounce rapidly, fracturing genetic structures. To fight this microscopic shrapnel, agronomists apply chemical coolants. Potassium and zinc act as internal antioxidants, absorbing the ROS and protecting the DNA helix. Scientists are also embedding permanent resilience into the seeds themselves. Using precise CRISPR gene editing and rapid generation advancement, researchers can program crops to instantly express heat shock proteins, internal molecular shields, the moment they detect a spike in temperature. Research communities worldwide are mapping out these climate-resilient traits across massive crop genomes, linking deep genetic data with real-time field performance. We possess the complete biological toolkit to keep high-value crops alive in hostile environments. We have external UV reflectors, internal antioxidants, and highly targeted DNA editing. But there is a serious catch. Deploying hyperlocal weather stations, precision misting arrays, and genetically engineered seeds requires an immense financial commitment. Farmers must invest thousands of dollars up front to build these defense networks. The deciding factor for whether those investments happen is a metric called climate policy uncertainty, or CPU. Look at this trend chart comparing crop yields during a severe heat wave. The first line plots the standard expected decline as temperatures rise, but the second, much steeper line reveals the CPU effect. When environmental and agricultural policies are volatile, yield losses double. The physical destruction of the heat wave is amplified by the instability of the government. The psychology behind this data is straightforward. When regulations, subsidies, and carbon policies constantly shift, farmers freeze. They refuse to spend capital on complex, multi-year survival technologies because they cannot trust the economic environment to support them. The battle for the global food supply happens in two places at once, out in the fields and inside government summits. Predictable, coherent policy is a core agricultural asset. Only when human governance remains stable can farmers confidently unlock the biological defenses required to feed a warming world.